The night was warm, the city lights shimmered like stars fallen onto the ground, and I was sitting in the corner of a cafe that smelled of roasted coffee beans and sweet lies. That's where she leaned closer to me and whispered, "I want you to be my sugar daddy." Her words sliced through the air, sharp as a blade. For a moment I thought I misheard her. The cafe's background chatter seemed to fade. The sound of cups clinking grew distant, and the only thing echoing in my ears was her audacity. A girl, barely in her 20s with confidence painted across her face like expensive makeup, looked me dead in the eyes, as if she were negotiating a business deal, not offering her soul for luxury. I stared at her. She smiled back, her lips curved with the certainty of someone who believed money could bend anyone. She thought she had me. She thought her beauty was enough to trap me. But she didn't know who I was. And that night, I decided not to play her game. The hook of her proposal was not just about money, it was about power. She wanted me to fund her lifestyle, to be the wallet behind her designer bags, her late-night parties, her champagne-filled dreams. She thought I'd be flattered. Instead, I was furious and intrigued. Because little did she know, I wasn't just about to say no. I was about to turn the game upside down. Her name was Alina, a college student, beautiful, bold, and reckless. She carried herself like the world owed her everything. With perfectly manicured nails and a phone that buzzed with endless notifications, she lived online more than in reality. Her Instagram was filled with pictures of luxury restaurants, rooftop lounges, and selfies with captions like, "Living my best life." But I knew the truth. She wasn't living her best life. She was chasing someone else's. Her obsession with wealth wasn't just casual, it was an addiction. She believed money could cover flaws, erase pain, and make people bow down to her. That's why she hunted for men she could bend into her sugar daddies. When she first approached me, I could see the calculation in her eyes. She had done this before. Her game was polished. She knew when to smile, when to look innocent, when to make you believe you were her hero. But I wasn't like the others. I watched her carefully. Every move she made was rehearsed. Every compliment she gave was a currency. She thought love could be traded for money. She didn't realize real men don't trade hearts. They test them. I asked her, "Why me?" Her answer was simple. "Because you can afford me." That was the moment I decided. If she wanted to play games, I'd play too. But on my terms. The next few days were a performance. She thought I was falling for her charm. She believed every laugh, every nod, every glance I gave her was a sign of surrender. But in reality, I was setting the stage. She'd call me late at night, her voice soft, asking about my day while hinting at the things she wanted. A new dress, a night at a club, a vacation she had seen on TikTok. I listened. I said little. I let her think she was winning. But here's the truth. I wasn't planning to give her what she wanted. I was planning to show her what she needed. I took her out one evening. Not to a fancy restaurant or a luxury mall, but to a place that didn't match her fantasy. A shelter for children who had nothing but broken shoes and hungry eyes. She looked at me, confused. This wasn't the sugar daddy life she signed up for. "Why are we here?" she asked, her tone sharp, her nails tapping impatiently on her phone. I looked around at the kids who smiled despite having nothing, and then I looked at her. "You said you wanted me as your sugar daddy," I told her slowly. "But let me show you what real sugar looks like. It's not champagne or diamonds. It's hope. It's love. It's giving." Her face twisted. She laughed, thinking it was a joke. But when she saw me kneel down, handing food to a child who hugged me tightly, something inside her shifted. She wasn't ready for this kind of wealth, and in that moment I realized the trap wasn't to expose her. The trap was to save her from herself. Alina tried to hide her discomfort that evening, but her eyes betrayed her. She looked at the children, at their torn shoes and cracked smiles, and for the first time, her own glossy life didn't shine so bright. "Why here?" she asked again, softer this time. Her phone, usually glued to her hand, rested silent in her lap. I didn't answer directly. I just watched her watch them, A girl no older than 8 tugged at her sleeve and said, "Dee Dee, you're very pretty. Can I have your bracelet?" Alina froze. She looked at the child, then at her own expensive accessory, and for a moment I saw hesitation. But instead of giving it away, she pulled her hand back sharply. "Not this," she muttered, forcing a smile. The child walked away, disappointed, and I noticed something. A crack, a hesitation in her perfect practiced smile. Alina wasn't ready to be generous. She wasn't ready to step out of her fantasy. That night, when we left, she confronted me. "You think you're clever, don't you? Showing me kids like that. But listen, life is short. Why waste it on sadness when I can have luxury? I deserve it." Her words stung, not because of their arrogance, but because of their emptiness. She was convinced money was oxygen. She couldn't breathe without it, but I wasn't done. The next week, Alina became bolder. She started sending me wish lists. Designer shoes, the latest iPhone, a vacation in Dubai. She didn't ask. She demanded. "Sugar daddies don't say no," she told me one evening, her tone laced with pride. "If you can't give me these things, what's the point?" Her arrogance was growing like a fire, and I realized the more I entertained her, the hungrier she became. She didn't want love. She didn't want respect. She wanted ownership. So I played along. I promised her dinner at a special place. She expected a rooftop with chandeliers, champagne glasses clinking under moonlight. But when she arrived, she found herself standing in a small, quiet home. My old family home. The walls were cracked, the furniture simple, and the air smelled of nostalgia. "This is it?" She scoffed, her eyes rolling. "Where's the 5-star?" I smiled. "This is where I grew up. Before money. Before success. Before anything else." She looked at me like I was insane. "Why are you showing me this?" "Because you should know," I said slowly, "that wealth is not measured by bags or cars. It's measured by the battles you fight when you have nothing." Her silence stretched. But in her eyes I didn't see understanding. I saw irritation, and in that moment I knew. Her greed wasn't a crack anymore. It was her identity. It happened on a rainy Thursday. I caught her red-handed. Alina thought I didn't know, but I had my ways. She was seeing another man, an older businessman, already married. She wanted him for gifts, vacations, and the promise of money. She wanted me for attention, stability, and status. In her world, men weren't people. They were ATMs. That night I confronted her. I showed her the messages, the pictures, the receipts of her expensive dinners with him. Her face drained of color. But instead of apologizing, she laughed. "You're not the only one, you know. That's how this works. Sugar daddies compete. And I choose the best deal." Her words hit me harder than a storm. Not because she betrayed me, but because she believed betrayal was normal. I stood there, silent. She expected me to shout, to beg, to fight. Instead, I gave her nothing. Silence. And in that silence, she realized she had lost. After the confrontation, I didn't argue. I didn't accuse. I didn't fight. I just turned, picked up my coat, and walked out. For someone like Alina, silence was louder than screams. She expected chaos, begging, drama, something she could control. But I gave her nothing, and that nothing terrified her. The next day, my phone was filled with her messages. "I'm sorry. It's not what it looks like. Please talk to me." But I didn't reply. When I finally saw her again, it wasn't at a cafe or a rooftop lounge. It was outside my office. She was waiting, drenched in rain, her makeup smeared, her pride gone. "I made a mistake," she whispered. "I thought money was everything, but your silence hurt me more than losing diamonds." For the first time, her voice trembled with something real. Regret. I wasn't ready to forgive her yet. Trust, once broken, is like shattered glass. It cuts even when you try to piece it back together. So I gave her one last test. I told her to come with me. No explanations, no promises. Just follow. We drove far from the city, into the dusty lanes where time seemed slower. We arrived at a small community school. Broken windows, old desks, but children inside eager to learn. The principal told me they needed books, clothes, and basic supplies. Nothing fancy, just hope. I looked at Alina. You want me as your sugar daddy? Then be their sugar sister. Show me if your hands can give instead of just take. She froze. Her manicured fingers shook as a child held her hand. But this time she didn't pull back. She reached into her bag, took out her expensive scarf, and wrapped it around the shivering shoulders of a little girl. The children cheered, their smiles brighter than chandeliers. And for the first time, Alina smiled too. Not the practiced Instagram smile, but something raw, unfiltered. In that moment, she realized wealth wasn't about what you wear. It was about what you share. Weeks passed. Alina began to change. The phone calls demanding luxury stopped. The wish lists disappeared. She started volunteering at the school, spending time with children, teaching them, laughing with them. I watched quietly. Part of me was proud. Part of me was cautious. But then came the twist. One evening she sat across from me, her eyes no longer greedy but heavy with guilt. I need to confess, she said. When I first came to you, it wasn't just about money. It was a dare. My friends told me I couldn't trap a man like you. They said you were too smart, too strong. I wanted to prove them wrong. Her words cut deep. It hadn't started with attraction or even greed. It started as a game. But her next words softened the wound. I thought I could play you. Instead, you changed me. And for that, I'll never stop being grateful. In the end, I didn't become her sugar daddy. I became her mirror. I showed her the reflection she had been running from, the emptiness of a life built only on greed. We didn't end as lovers. We didn't end as enemies. We ended as a lesson. Alina walked away with new eyes, seeing value in things she once ignored, family, kindness, honesty, and I walked away knowing silence, truth, and patience can do what anger never could. The moral. Money can buy attention, but it can never buy respect. Greed can trap hearts, but only truth can free them. And sometimes, the best answer to betrayal is not rage, but the silence that teaches louder than words.